from your perspective, what are the other things that parents can do sort of maintenance-wise, prevention-wise, nutrition-wise to build up the health of their child's mouth and teeth?
Yeah, so that is one benefit of being pediatric is they're so malleable.
Yeah.
So we can really get in there and make changes at a young age. And part of that is making sure that they're getting the proper nutrition. We definitely go over, are they eating real food? Are they chewing their food? Because that's actually what's going to help their tongues have correct strength and posture and help the jaws grow, but also help them clean off their own food off of their teeth so that we don't have to worry about that accumulation. And I definitely, like Weston Price and Steve Lim with the dental diet, I think is an easier read for parents now, but going into making sure we're getting the D3, the K2, the A in our diet, that we're eating those fatty foods, and we're making sure that we're getting those building blocks. I explain to parents, okay, most of their primary teeth are formed when they're born, but their permanent teeth are just beginning. We can shape these. We can change them. We can make them stronger if we start eating the right things, doing the right things. And then we also, like I said, we go into the microbiome. So we want to make sure that our parents, that you guys have clean mouths, that you're seeing the dentist because you're kissing and sharing utensils and straws and whatever's inside your mouth is sharing with your child. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we're doing that, and that if we're not, breastfeeding or born vaginally, then we want to help supplement the oral microbiome so that we're having the correct thing in there along with the gut. We also do pH testing because we want to know about acidity in the mouth and how all of that is, because if we're constantly resting in acidity, we are always going to have cavities. So then we get to reach out to great functional doctors like you to help with the gut and make sure that the gut is strong so that we're actually absorbing what we're eating, we're absorbing supplements that we're taking, and that we're having that good microbiome.
That's great.
Are we seeing an increase in oral cavitation cavities in children, pediatric, because of diet? I mean, I'm sure there's a million other reasons, but we are seeing this in the literature. There's a uprise.
Yes, there's, a little while back, there was a journal entry written about cracker cavities because little kids have found like emotional support with their little snack cups now, and they're just going around always having access constantly to this processed food. And we definitely have a big increase in cavities because of that. I also think there is some environmental aspects that are affecting us because the current amount of hypoplastic teeth that are being formed, teeth that are missing, the calcium, the phosphate inside of them, is at the highest it's ever been. And we're trying to figure out exactly, why is that happening? What can we do to prevent it?
Now, I'm impressed that you mentioned, Dr. Price, Weston Price, who really was, ahead of his time, way, way ahead of his time. So he was, for the audience, one of the first dentists to go around the world historically and study these native cultures as they were being transitioned from their native local farm-based diet to processed foods, and particularly sugar. And he actually, noted, documented, photographed the changes, especially in the teeth, which are one of the first things to show the change and the impact of this processed preservative food. Amazing work, and it's what we're seeing now is just the continuation of that.
Yeah, I do have to explain to parents because a lot of times they're like, I feed my child so well, I'm doing my best. And I'm like, I know, keep doing that. But unfortunately, it's not just what they're eating, it's what you ate.
Yes.
And what your parents ate. And we have this epigenetic effect of this poor diet over the years. And it's going to take us a long time to be able to reverse that.
Yeah.
Fluoride. I know, revered by folks in your circles as the big evil, but we'll have a lot of, listeners think, what do you mean? Fluoride is something I need to introduce to my children for strong, healthy teeth. Why do we think fluoride is so good for us? And yet maybe there's some counter argument to that. We should be limiting the amount. Another neurotoxin, another potential load. Do we need fluoridation? What's the story?
Well, probably I'll defer to our pediatric person here.
Yeah, so I do, it's scary being a parent and always wanting the best for your child. So a lot of fear mongering, unfortunately, comes from fluoride. And when you go to your pediatrician now at age 1, if you're going to a traditional, they're putting varnish on babies without having them spit. And as we said, anything that goes in the mouth is going in the body. We absorb very, very easily. So, and fluoride is in everything. It's in our food, it's in our water. So we want to limit it as much as we can. And I think one way that we can limit it is by using a toothpaste that's not fluoride, but instead has another way to help mineralize the teeth. I always say I don't like nothing toothpaste, but we can use hydroxyapatite toothpaste, which is a great alternative now, or use something with ionic minerals in it. There's a lot of other ways to make the teeth stronger. And I do, being a mom myself, I'm always like, I know you're scared not to use fluoride because of cavities, but my kids have never had a cavity and they've never had fluoride, their whole life. So there are other ways to do it with eating a good diet and making sure you're getting the vitamins and minerals you need, and making sure that your toothpaste is mineralizing, but in a more natural way where we don't have to risk the possible side effects.